Why was she here? Party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. Kicking it with my homie Frosty. Ooh. Oh, the Myers. Ooh, the Myers rum and the eggnog, baby, is hitting. So we're here to talk about Best Man Holiday today, as you can see by everything. And the big takeaway, the first question I have, and the question that I had throughout the entire movie, is why the fuck was Homegirl there in the first place? And I saw her because I got it on Amazon Prime. I saw her on the thing, the Amazon Prime, the header. And I'm thinking to myself, I say self? I say what? I say self? Why did they invite this heifer in the first place? Because they run through everybody, because it's been 13 years or so since we've seen the gang and the original Best Man. And what we don't understand now. See, I'm thinking, oh, okay, so she and light skinned dude must have got together. She and Maine must have did the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And got together and had kids or whatever the hell. But no, that was a one-day thing. They didn't get the crazy kids together that just acted like they despise each other. It wasn't a Kyle and Maxine from Living Single type thing. They went their separate ways. How did she end up at the party? Now, I'm not going to get into the Best Man too much for those of you that don't know. It's been 20 years, for Christ's sake. Go and watch it. I actually watched it last night because I forgot that I had seen it until it started playing. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this. I saw it. And I just forgot like all the interloping entanglements that they all got themselves into, which is ironic because one of the kids is named August. And I had to refresh my memory. And so she was one of the girlfriends, overdramatic girlfriend, who gets dumped just before the wedding starts. So then her storyline should have ended on those church steps, because nobody else in the group liked her. They establish on this in the first movie, everybody hates her except for the dude that she's seeing, Julian. So everybody hates this heifer right here. Everybody hates him. Forgive me with the names. I'm a little short with the names. Shelby. Everybody hates Shelby. Everybody hates Shelby. Yeah. Except for Julian, until he meets a young Regina Hall. We didn't know I don't think anybody knew that was Regina Hall. I remembered the story after I started watching it. I forgot it was Regina Hall. So Julian falls in love with Regina Hall in the first movie and ends up with her. Since nobody in that group liked her in the first goddamn place, why did she stay at that wedding all the way through the reception in the second damn place to sleep with Terrence Howard's main ass in the third damn place? Let alone be seen some 13 odd years later at the reunion getting everybody else together again at the behest of Mia. Nobody liked that heifer. Her story should have ended. In real life, if one of the crew breaks up with a toxic girlfriend that nobody likes, she doesn't get invited to Christmas 13 years later. Nobody keeps up with her. Nobody gives a fuck about her. Hell, I've had friends who've had cool girlfriends who I actually kind of like, who I haven't seen in years or heard from in years. And we're still connected on social damn media, let alone inviting you to your house. Come on. I know you wanted to bring her back because she was in the original cast, yada, 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 memories, etc., and she's, one of the main shit stirrers. But if you're gonna do that, then have her and Terrence Howard's main ass get together, or have been together and have a kid together, and, they're figuring out the other shit, and they decided to do Christmas together. Something to pull that together. Because for half, at least, of this movie, And every time after that I see her on the screen, I'm thinking to myself, and I've yelled numerous times, I'm Leonardo DiCaprio in that meme, saying, what the hell is she doing there in the first place? How did she get invited to this shit? Don't nobody like her in the second damn place. And in the movie, she keeps needling at Regina Hall. She keeps needling her. She keeps begging her. She keeps begging Regina Hall to beat the holy shit out of her. Begging. How did she get invited? How did she get invited? How the hell did she get invited? Come on. That's bogus. That's bogus. The least you could do is tie the threads together and have Maine be her baby daddy or something. But no. The other main thread, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen this 7-year-old movie already, the other part of this movie is angelic Mia, played by the lovely actress Monica Calhoun, who many of you remember, and I remember, from The Players Club as Ebony. She went from that to this, ironical enough, because Regina Hall's character in this kind of does a Players Club thing. She used to be a stripper in the first movie, and a video comes out of her, giving some service to some white dude at a frat party, and, Players Club. Bucket Nakeds. Anyway, she in this one, she's the angelic angel who happened to sleep with bald ass Diggs, Tay Diggs, bald ass Tay Diggs, way before the first movie ever starts, and it still eats at Morris Chestnut. But she's dying of cancer, and nobody knows she's dying of cancer except Morris Chestnut, who married her anyway, despite the fact that he was torn up inside. You tear me apart, Lisa or Mia. In the first movie, marries her anyway, has 4 kids with her, leads essentially a happy life after he got over his own bullshit, because everybody has a history, dog. God. Morris Chestnut's character kind of reminds me of one of my homeboys from high school, actually, which is interesting. Anyway, won't get into that. But Morris Chestnut's character is kind of two-dimensional, kind of gullible. If he just kind of he doesn't understand, just the world revolves around more than just him and his version of Christianity and purity. But which, ironically enough, if they do a third one, would probably lead to some interesting parental choices and decisions and turns of phrase with his kids. But I don't think they're going to do a third one. They teased a third one at the end with May. Oh, did they do a third one? I'd be surprised if they did a third one, or if they didn't at least try to do a third one. Hold on. While I look that up. So she's dying of cancer. Nobody knows that except for Morris Chestnut. Tay Diggs finds out because he sees her coughing into a damn. They are doing one. Ew. Tay Diggs reveals Third Man 3 is in play for small screen. Ew. They don't need to do a third one. Anyway, they don't need a third one. So Tay Diggs finds her, et cetera, coughing up blood, and then slowly but surely everybody finds out. And little did we know. So we start off with Mia inviting everybody, including Tay Diggs, to come to the party, and Tay Diggs, is thinking about it. He's pensive about it. I don't know. It's been 13 years. Apparently, he and Morris Chestnut still never talked about it. They were doing the Soul Train. They were doing the electric slide at the end of the first one, and they didn't talk about it at all after that. They didn't figure their shit out. They didn't figure out their friendship out at all over 13 years after that. Really? Not at all. With the speech and everything. And, Tay Diggs moving on. And by the way, Tay Diggs had, at that point, slept with 3 of the 4 main women in that movie. And he, they didn't discuss that shit at all. Okay. He decides he's going to go because his last 2 books haven't been great, even though the first one was a chart-topping seller. The last 2 haven't been great. and he's got to figure something out. And his publisher is like, do a biography on your boy Lance. And he thinks about doing it and decides that he's going to do it, and actually tells Mia via email that he's going to go do that. He's going to go, but doesn't tell her why. And then just in his head is going to be to get some information to do the fucking biography. Hey, Tay Diggs, isn't this kind of the shit that fucked up the first one? Just say it. Like, I know shit was cold with him and Morris Chestnut over 13 years after the wedding, after they were all smiles and shit at the end of this shit. Somehow, a little retconning on what the fuck happened. Even though they showed what the fuck happened. They showed the electric slide and everything. Because they did a recap. Spent 13 years. But why can't you just tell your boy, hey, listen, quick question, my publisher wants to do a biography on you. And I didn't think it would, phrase it like this. Phrase it like, my publisher wants to do a biography on you, wants to do a biography on you, and, autobiography on you. And I found out, he told me about it, and I, since I'm your boy, since I was your best man at your wedding, I was thinking maybe I could be the one to help you with it, as opposed to some rando who doesn't know anything about you, somebody you can trust now, maybe after 13 years, to handle your legacy and you and everything in the right way, in the way you want to do it, have everybody, you know what I mean? Like, me, just say that shit at some point in the fucking, but he doesn't. What happens is Nia Long gives him a tablet and draws a mock-up of what the biography is going to be. Her white boyfriend Brian McDonald did, which is interesting because Tay Diggs called him McDougal, as in McDougal's from Coming to America. Yeah. So I got that little reference. I understand that reference. But instead, he keeps it a secret for no goddamn reason until after everybody finds out about Mia, or at least until some of the people find out about Mia, and Tay Diggs finds Nia Long's tablet in Mia, the character's purse, or maybe Nia Long's purse, who knows? It's one of the purses, Mia or Nia's purse, in the car. He's warming it up for his wife at this Christmas function at his church, and he goes all Tay Diggs, or not all, half Morris Chestnut from the first one. He doesn't beat him up and hold him over a ledge, but he does cuss him out and break the tablet and walk off in reactionary anger, not understanding or giving a fuck about what's actually happening, just being reactionary, and I'm mad. Morris Chestnut is pretty good in this movie, by the way. The cast is fairly good in this movie. Again, as long as you get past the fact that Shelby has no business being there, nobody fucking likes her, there's no reason for her to be there. So that's part of the story. The other part of the story is Tay Diggs is having a baby with a very, very pregnant Sanaa Lathan in this. And goddamn, does she steal this movie. She is hands down. And if there's one, first off, if there's one thing I can say, if there's one issue I had with The Best Man, it's not enough Sanaa Lathan. Not enough Sanaa Lathan. If there's one issue I have with life in general, it's not enough Sanaa Lathan. National goddamn treasure, Sanaa Lathan. In this movie, couldn't take my eyes off her on the screen. The sexiest one in the entire cast. Don't at me. Unless you're Sanaa Lathan, then go ahead and at me. It's a real 469 on everything. On everything. Anyway, so Sanaa Lathan's having a baby. Apparently, we find out that they've had some issues conceiving before, and they allude to a miscarriage, or they don't actually say the word miscarriage somewhere in the deep conversation. Julian finds out that Regina Hall has a sex tape of her going down on some college kid, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, and it jeopardizes his fundraising as a philanthropist. He's a philanthropist now. He's opening schools for underprivileged kids, et cetera, et cetera. Regina Hall's right there with him. And one of his more stuck-up contributors finds it and decides that he's going to pull out. And then Julian shows everybody, because as we established in the first one, Julian can't keep a goddamn secret, and tells everybody, so everybody knows about it except Regina Hall. Regina Hall doesn't even know. Again, just before anything happens, before you go on this trip, because he finds out before he goes on the trip, have a conversation with your wife. Have a conversation with the mother of your two children. Have a conversation with your business partner about the business that your business and life partner has now jeopardized some almost 20 years earlier. Just say the words. Now, by the way, this timeline doesn't make any sense either, because the video says 1997. The movie came out in 2000. In 2000, if you saw the movie, when Regina King walks in, she walks in behind everybody else, so far behind that the pimp that was with her or whatever probably should have said, bitch, come on. But maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But she looked nervous and pensive as if she's never done it before. Yet apparently, according to Best Man Holiday, she was a 3-year vet. She was a fucking junior at that point. She walking into that damn party with some goddamn trepidation for after she'd been at Kappa Pi Kappa or whatever the fuck fraternity. She walking into this big ass fucking hotel room making all that goddamn money. What? Stop right there. Stop right there. Continuity police. That movie, Best Man Holiday. Go ahead and you don't have to arrest it, but go ahead and write that ticket. Make it a big number, because that didn't make any goddamn sense. But anyway, again, have a conversation with your goddamn people. Also, Miss Angelic Mia, I got a question. We could all look past the indiscretions from the first movie. They wrote it in the first movie so that we understood. She wanted to get back at Lance, Morris Chestnut's ass, for cheating on her on the road. She picked his best friend, make it, because that's what, because she's a woman and they just know, they know what to do and how to do it to just emotionally. But we understood it the way they broke it down. They needed each other in that moment. It was a one-time thing. They both knew it. It was less about the sex and more about the comfort and the consoling each other, or at least consoling her. They almost made it seem like Tay Diggs was a good guy for digging it down, laying that pipe, going to the comment section, if you know what I mean. They almost made it seem that way. And you know what? You watch it, you're like, yeah, I guess I understand. And it almost makes it seem like Morris Chestnut's overreacting. He is, because he's in a fantasy world about his wife, or fiance at that point. But Mia, aside from inviting Shelby, who nobody likes, who she knows is a shit stirrer, and in this movie is a professional shit stirrer, as a real housewife of some bullshit, she invites everybody to the house for Christmas, knowing that there's not much time left on her health. Now, I'm no oncologist. I don't know this for sure. But I would imagine that her doctor gave her some kind of timeline. People beat timelines all the time. They're guidelines. They're not rules. Some people go longer. Some people go shorter. Some people beat it entirely and live 20, 30 years later. But to invite everybody to her house with a very good chance, and in this movie, 100% chance of her passing away on Christmas. How does she do that? And at no time during the festivities say or before say something. They say in this movie that Nia Long, or at least that Mia was Nia Long's best friend. Why? Tell you, if nobody else, tell your best friend, tell Nia, get a heads up. At this particular point, in this stage of her cancer, she's coughing up blood. Later on in the movie, she falls over trying to put an ornament down, and they do the cinematic showing, and we'll get into the cinematic part, how cheesy some of this shit was. But we see the ornament fall and shatter on the ground like Rosebud and Citizen Kane. How does she not tell somebody? How does she not have a nurse at the house? It seems like at this, because she dies at Christmas. At this point, as rich as they are, and they are super rich, because Morris Chestnut signed a big-ass contract with the New York Giants and is breaking running records. How does she not have, there's a maid at least, or a cook, or somebody. How does she not have a nurse? How does she not have some, like, at this super advanced stage, there's something, there's more, there's something that's up. I know the movie has to movie, but there's something up here. Like, how does she not have some sort of assistance and, kind of understand where her body is at this particular point? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Also, one other thing I don't understand, there's a scene where she smokes weed with Terrence Howard. And she says to Terrence Howard, "You're ruining my good girl image." Is that the first time she smoked weed since the cancer? Are they trying to imply? No, they can't be trying to imply that. Because she says she's tried everything, holistic, natural, everything else. She had to have been smoking weed at some point, right? Right? It's 2013. We knew that weed was helpful in cases like this long before this point. I'm sure, right? I'm sure. She takes 2 little tiny puffs. It's like, what? It's a little curious. So, Mia is the angelic one, but she invites all her friends over this close to her death. That's kind of fucked up. Without telling them, that's kind of fucked up. It's one thing if everybody knows, and she's like, "Hey, come over for Christmas." Okay, we coming over for Christmas. We helping Mia. We helping the kids. We're doing this family shit. We're doing this friend shit. We're doing this, chosen family shit this year on this Christmas. We're gonna make this Christmas. We're gonna make this one fucking special. How cold is it? Because guess what? If everything had gone according to plan, she had this itinerary and shit. If everything had gone according to plan for Mia on this particular holiday season, Christmas comes and goes, and then she dies, and everybody else is all fucking shocked and heartbroken and not knowing what the fuck happened out of nowhere. She didn't even tell her kids she had cancer. They knew mommy was sick, but she didn't even tell her kids. And at least 1 or 2 of them were old enough to figure some shit out, find out or know. The eldest, something. Jesus. This is rapid aging cancer. Jesus, what the fuck? While we're on Mia's cancer and shit, since we're here, we might as well go through this. This movie did some interesting things musically. So, 2 in particular I want to talk about. Mia's funeral. Oh yes, she dies on Christmas Day. They have the funeral on the 28th. Mia's funeral, big church. See, so we get to the church, and then all of a sudden, I've already eaten. I've cooked. I already ate. I'm not hungry or anything. But for some reason, I smell collard greens and black-eyed peas, and then Anthony Hamilton comes onto the screen, and I just smell ham hocks and chitlins in my house, and I hadn't cooked anything, since before I started watching the movie. So I don't know how. I don't know how that happened. Then I smelled incense, but I hadn't burned any. And there was one half of ah. There was one half of Flowetry at the piano, also singing it. But more than they were just there singing at her funeral, they were singing Always by Stevie Wonder. You remember Always by Stevie Wonder, don't you? I vividly remember Always by Stevie Wonder, not just because it's a classic goddamn song, but because in 2000, in the lead up and payoff and finale of The Best Man, for years, there's a whole decade of children, of people on this planet who remember that song from The Best Man, because it was the whole trailer. The whole trailer was I'll Be Loving You Always, and them doing the electric slide and doing all this other shit. And in the movie, it plays a very important part in the first Best Man. It is the theme of The Best Man is Always by Stevie Wonder. And I'm sure it got a spike in sales and radio play. Matter of fact, I know it got sales and radio play because the radio wouldn't stop playing it when it came out. I remember there were stations that played contemporary shit that all of a sudden played Stevie Wonder's Always. And I'm not complaining about it. That's all until that shit is woo. If you have a soul, it touches you in it. I ain't complaining. But Anthony Hamilton, yes, chitlin and ham hock, all of a sudden on my goddamn stove in the big crock pot, the big blue crock pot with the white spots on it. And Flo had one half of Flowetry with the damn incense. All of a sudden, they're playing a somber, sad version of it. As soon as I heard the opening lyrics from Anthony Hamilton, I said to myself, I know goddamn well they're not doing this right now. I know goddamn well they're not doing this right now. And I get it. Thematically, you have one extreme to the other. It's a bookend. Even though the movie goes on for like another 10 minutes. But it's a bookend. I get it. I understand it. I was kind of blown away that they had the balls to even do it. But they did. Another thing musically that they do with this movie, at the final end, once we're done with everything, once the credits start to roll, what's the first voice I hear? Once the credits start to roll, all of a sudden, I had a mask on my face for no goddamn reason. And 12-year-old girls are lining up outside I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is this? Oh, it's R. Kelly on my TV. Had Chris Hansen trying to bust through the damn door. The FBI trying to come in and confiscate some shit. I'm like, I'm just watching Best Man Holiday. R. Kelly with his Step in the Name of Christmas or whatever the fuck garbage song that was. Wow, that was a trash song. That was trash. Because he was singing about Christmas shit and he was like, I'm gonna step in the name of... Like, really? Really, nigga? Really? You such this prolific artist and all you could talk about now is step in the... Michael Jackson never mentioned moonwalking in any of his fucking songs. Yet we all know about the goddamn moonwalk. You ain't gotta mention step... What are you now? The broke ass, illiterate ass, overrated ass Chuck Berry? Singing Twist in every goddamn song. You get the fuck out of here. This has nothing to do with surviving R. Kelly. I hated R. Kelly since the beginning. I've never liked that motherfucker's music. Most of it. There's some of it that I'm like, it was all right. And then I grew up and listened to it more. I was like, oh yeah, this motherfucker's lyrics are terrible. Like, they're not that good. They're very simplistic. And this was even worse. This was even worse. I don't know what record company signed what deal with what devil to get this bullshit at the end of this goddamn movie. But for all the good that Always by Stevie Wonder did for the first Best Man and the first Best Man soundtrack, that bullshit Christmas song by R. Kelly, I will never listen to that soundtrack. Holy shit. And they played a good portion of that song. That song sucked. Jesus fucking Christ. That got past multiple people and put on wax. Don't ever say that your musical dreams can't apply to nothing if that nigga shit got on this motherfucking movie in 2013. Holy shit. The movie essentially ends with the funeral. But they can't end it on the funeral, can they? Nah, of course they can't. Sanaa Latham's gorgeous fucking ass in this guy. Oh my god, she was stacked. And they made mention of her, how they displayed her tits too. Holy shit. Oh my god. Anyway, Sanaa Latham goes into labor at the repast. Everybody congregating after the funeral. And, this is where it gets into cheap movie territory. Has the baby in Morris Chestnut's car. It's a breech birth. They mentioned that over and over and over again. So the baby comes out feet first, and Regina Hall is driving them. And this is when we really start to see Regina Hall be the Regina Hall that most of us know and love, with the crazy antics and shit, because she's the one driving them there at some point. At first it's Morris Chestnut, but then he gets in the back because that baby ain't waiting. And so Regina Hall in the front yelling "fuck you" to people as she's driving the SUV trying to get to the hospital on time. So Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan have a baby. They name it Mia, after Mia, who died. Everybody comes in, takes pictures with the baby and shit. Pre-COVID movies. And the book comes out, and they all meet, not they all, but Morris Chestnut and Taye Diggs are in little Mia, baby Mia's nursery, and the book comes out, and when the book comes in, and he gives them the first book, etc. Interesting that Morris Chestnut's wife, Mia, isn't on the cover of the book. It's just him and the kids in football. Like, it's interesting that she's not on there at all, but I guess that's a choice. And then Maine ass Terrence Howard, who at the funeral slept with Shelby again, and they're like, "Oh, maybe this is a romantic thing. Maybe this will work out this time." Nah, man, I can't stand you. Where's my underwear? You didn't wear any. You nasty motherfucker. So he decides he's gonna get married. Yeah, it's time, Maine. Man, let me tell you something, Maine. It's time, Maine, and I don't mean Maine. It's in Maine. I mean, he decides he's gonna get married, and that's how they tease a third movie. They don't need a third movie. This one was good. I won't say fine. It was good. Still haven't hit that Christmas classic yet. We are still not at Christmas classic territory yet. This is really not a Christmas movie. It takes place at Christmas, but it's really not a Christmas movie. It's not a Christmassy movie. It doesn't get me in the holiday feelings, the holiday spirit. That's what I'm looking for in a Christmas movie. I'm looking for something that gets me in the holiday spirit. Ironically enough, Lethal Weapon gets me more in the holiday spirit than anything else than this movie does. Because it takes place at Christmas, and they do, because it just feels more natural Christmassy. Like, the atmosphere makes more sense. Nia Long, I guess her white boyfriend or whatever, I guess she ends up with him. They don't necessarily go into much more detail than that. She's a billionaire, basically trying to do her Oprah shit. They don't get into more detail than that. Taye Diggs is... you feel less for Taye Diggs in this movie. You understand him less in this movie than you do in the first one. In the first one, all the drama in the first one is understandable. You kind of like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, they should have, but I get it. Like, I know people, or I've done, what I mean? You kind of understand. This one ventures more into the just fucking say some shit territory. This one ventures more into the, why are we taking so long with this horse shit? Like, why is this a problem territory? Like, just telling Lance, hey, I want to do your fucking book, or, just fucking telling people, hey, I got the big C. You know what I mean? Like, all that shit just breaks down to just say the goddamn words. Like, just say it. Like, it's not, fucking say it so we can move the fuck on. Like, these aren't people in, like, the way they've established these characters, these aren't people that, are gonna abandon the other people or whatever the fuck. These are people that are gonna stay there and do the work of friendship in this particular movie. So, and they've established that they're gonna do that in the first one. So the fact that we come back to the second one and they are worse really in being actual people doing actual human-like things that they would be doing is sort of weird. It's it's sort of like, what happened with this one? Why is this one not as smart as the first one? Why is this one not as relatable as the first one? And maybe it was the cutscenes in the beginning, the kind of, flash, almost kick-ass like cutscenes in the beginning, kind of refreshing everybody on what everybody was. It almost like they did almost 3D graphics on something. Like, was this showing in 3D in 2013? Did you have to wear fucking glasses just to watch the fucking opening scene of the Best Man Holiday in 2013? If you did, let me know so I can let you know how you wasted your fucking money. Anyway, this one's fine. I won't say fine. This one's pretty good. The actors carry it. The story overall isn't bad, even. We go to the big football scene with Morris Chestnut. I started to feel excited about it. Now, mind you, they did the Hollywood football thing. A lot of the angles are like, come on, this is bullshit. I don't necessarily need to see this. But and overplayed some shit. And at the end, when he gets a touchdown, he not only does the prayer, but he lifts his hands to God like fucking Tim Robbins and Shawshank Redemption in the rain, even though there was no rain. And it was like, you had me until that last shot. We didn't need that last shot. That was extemporaneous. And this was 124 minutes. You could have cut that. You could have cut that too and made it a smooth 2 hours or even a smooth 90. Even a smooth 90, maybe hundy. You didn't necessarily need a full 2 hours and 4 minutes for this one. Cool. 90, maybe a hundy. You didn't need that all. You didn't need the entire time. Because realistically, again, just saying some shit fixes some of the story. Just saying some shit fixes some of the story. They do, if they're going to have Nia Long be with the white boy, they miss the opportunity for the white boy to get acclimated to and brought completely into the crew. They missed that opportunity. Yeah, they talk some shit one day over drinks or whatever the fuck in the pool room, but that's it. He immediately leaves off to wherever the fuck to go skiing with his family or whatever the fuck. So they missed that opportunity. They also, like I said before, missed the opportunity to make this an actual holiday classic. It's fine. I don't ever need to see this again. I did, being refreshed with The Best Man. It was cool. I'm more than willing to watch The Best Man multiple times again because it was a good movie. It was a well-made movie. This one was good. It was good. It was slightly better than fine. Mostly off the performances. Overall, if I'm going to give this a rating, and I am, out of $15, I would say Best Man Holiday out of $15. Yeah, I'm all right with that. It's probably worth 10 out of 15. 10 out of 15, I would say. I'm okay with that. They have plot holes all over the place. The plot, like I said, just say some shit. The fucking video thing was kind of funny, but kind of dumb at the same time. Regina Hall not just beating the shit out of Shelby didn't make any sense. Shelby being there at all didn't make any sense. So the plot holes, and again, that plot hole of why Shelby was there in the first goddamn place when she and Terrence Howard weren't together in the second goddamn place, just for half the movie, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? And also, like I mentioned before, this one's not as smart as the other one. And they kind of made Taye Diggs dumber. Now, mind you, more Sanaa Lathan. Mazel fucking tov, baby. But, I feel comfortable doing 10. I think 12 is a little bit much for this one. And I know. You're going to Joe Biden me. If you don't like this movie, you ain't black. Well, then I ain't black then. Actually, I am black. I'm just maybe mulatto. Because I liked it. Just not as much as other people did. And I cannot say that this is a holiday classic. Because it ain't. I watched it once. I don't have to watch it again. Unless they do a third one. And I forget everything that happened here. But fuck it, I don't have to watch that again either. I can just sit here and watch me the way you're doing, which is what you should be doing. But what you also should be doing is liking it and sharing it. Yes, most people tell you to subscribe. Fuck the subscriptions. Like it and share it, goddammit. Share it, share it, share it. This is the season of perpetual hope, of sharing and all that jazz. Share this video with as many people as you know. Tell them how wrong I am and have them come to this video in this comment section and tell me that to my ever-loving, gorgeous, money-making face. Down there in the comment section, like and share, and also look up How Did We Even Get Here? That's the name of my podcast. Or go to tinyurl.com/getheretube. That's where the YouTube channel is. Me and my homeboy Trey talk shit to each other, talk shit about other people, talk shit about everything. That's what the How Do We Even Get Here podcast is all about. If you have some stuff you want to tell me in the comment section down below. And as always, ho, ho, ho.
I'm a nice guy, I'm a nice place, with a nice smile on my nice face. Turn it back and I'm making sure my night's straight. And when you're out of town, I'll be making sure your wife's straight.